Jesse, roll it. Welcome to another highly questionable work week. This guy loves Izzy. Izzy loves this guy. What do you love on the show today, Izzy?
Just to confirm, I did have to cradle Dan in my arms after Aaron Rodgers got hurt.
Oh, I'm heartbroken. I'm done with football. Dale, papi.
Was Aaron Rodgers injured on a dirty hit? And are the Packers doomed without him?
Oh, you see what the producers did there? They made it two questions that are really just disguises for, hey, Aaron Rodgers was hurt this weekend. You guys want to talk about it? Because he's pretty important and famous, and that's not a great thing. I am tired of Alex Smith sacks. I am tired of Eli Manning throwing to the tight end. I am tired of Jay Cutler throwing everything 4 yards. I wanted this quarterback as a master in his sport to play the whole season because I enjoyed watching him play in a time of constipated offense. And you're going to see now in Green Bay how it is that he's been carrying and keeping employed all of those people in his huddle, in his front office, and on his sidelines because they're going to totally fall apart.
Yeah, and we know they're pretty much doomed if they've got to go with Brett Hundley for the rest of the season. But let's quiet down about this dirty hit stuff and everything about Aaron Rodgers shouldn't be out for the season because of this hit. Listen, at some point, it just has to be football, okay? And I know these guys are protected, and I know it's a little difference between, hey, maybe he released the ball, maybe he didn't. But that's a normal football hit, and it results in an injury. Okay, it happens. There wasn't anything dirty about it. Not all these quarterbacks can stay upright all the time.
I thought it was interesting. I heard a game yesterday, a broadcaster shout, "Oh, what a great block." And then the next thing that announcer said was, "And flags litter the field," because it wasn't a great block. It was an illegal block that used to be the way that football was played, but now we've changed all the rules to protect the quarterbacks in a way that anytime they get hurt, they look like it might have been dirty.
That was the best play of the weekend, and it wasn't a penalty, in my opinion.
This is the opportunity that Hundley has been waiting all his life.
Yes.
This is the time that I've been waiting for. He wants to show everybody that he got what it takes, buddy. I'm telling you something. You are going to forget about Aaron Rodgers after the third game. You know what I'm talking about?
Next Tom Brady right there.
That's
All
right.
right, this is going to be like the Brady-Bledsoe situation. Aaron Rodgers is done. Here comes Hundley to be even better.
And if he cannot do it, I know another Brett who is ready to roll.
Oh, yes. Brett Favre, let's put him back there. You got to make a call to Romo, don't you? Like, Favre's a joke, but don't you have to make a call to Romo?
Is Favre a joke? Have you seen the Copperfit commercials?
Did the Jets get hosed?
All right, go ahead and play this because for all of us, any of us ever watching football, in the history of football, this has always been a touchdown, except for yesterday. When we went to the microscopic details of this, look, all the Patriots thought that they knocked it loose there, and they did. It was proven to be jostled as he went over the goal line. Look at this. Did you see what Jenkins did there? He ran over those guys and then tried to hand the ball to Chung. Like, look, you want this now after I've run over all you guys? You want this? Would you like this touchdown ball I just put down your throat?
Whew. This goes back to the Aaron Rodgers question of when sometimes it's just football, when is it not football anymore? Man, this is the most violent sport. There's collisions everywhere. It's just an angry game, but we want to be so refined when it comes to those little inches, those little nuggets of space that are right. That's a touchdown, man. That's a touchdown. Now, whether or not the Jets would have won that game, I don't know, but this is getting ridiculous with this game, how we overemphasize and focus on every little tiny detail.
I do love that that's juxtaposed, though. We're still measuring with chains where old guys are saying, I think the ball goes here, and there is not some place that you often see replayed, although some people do that on the spot and on the ball. I would say this as well as you look at everything that happened here. This is not the spirit of that rule. The spirit of that rule is not being enforced there. What you have happening is you've got people overturning rules going by the letter of the law, and why have arbiters if you're not going to let them apply human judgment, if you're just going to go to the letter of the law every time and not spirit of the law?
That call never goes against the Patriots. You know, they have a way to get in those calls. I don't understand that. You know, I think that he knows somebody in that league that every time something like that happens, he gets a break, you know?
I mean, other than those two big investigations where they tried to destroy them.
Get Ted Wells on the case.
Right.
That's right. Were you Gasbacks too quick to bury Adrian Peterson?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we know the Saints don't really have this dominant running game, and maybe that wasn't a great fit for him, and he goes to Arizona in his first game and gets 2 touchdowns and 130-plus yards. But it also happened to be a game where Carson Palmer played his best game of the season as well. Happened to be a game where Larry Fitzgerald played his best game of the season, and obviously Adrian Peterson. All three of those guys over 32 years old. The chances of them doing that on a regular basis this season, slim to none. So I'm not giving the Cardinals much of a chance because of this.
It does make me wonder, though, Sean Payton, is there any particular reason that instead of using his skill set to your advantage, you just stayed with your system and Drew Brees and never figured out a way to use this guy in a way that made him look lost and foreign while he was with you? And then all of a sudden, with no preparation whatsoever, he goes out there and has one of the biggest rushing games you've seen. I will say something else from that game was interesting. This sport doesn't become fun until Ryan Fitzpatrick is down 3 or 4 touchdowns, and he just goes out there and it's just a sprinkler spewing the football all over the place. Same thing happened with Stafford yesterday, where he's down 5 touchdowns. Look out, because here comes Matthew Stafford to make the game fun again.
Did yesterday prove that the Steelers and the Chiefs are who we thought they were going into the season?
I mean, yesterday proved that we don't know bleep about anything that we're talking about. We come on here every Monday and we tell you what we think, and none of it ends up mattering because you've got the New York Giants with none of their star players going into Denver and winning. You've got the Miami Dolphins getting down 17 in Atlanta, going there and winning. And then, look, my father's very excited because Jake Cutler came back down from down 17. But this, what does it prove? Anything other than what you already believed, which is this is exactly how Alex Smith and the Chiefs lose in the first round of the playoffs or the second round if they get the bye and then get a divisional home game. This is how it will look like. Fluke plays, weird stuff, and Alex Smith taking sacks.
Yeah, you go into this game, you think, hey, it's a big game for the Steelers because they're in shambles. Ben Roethlisberger's questioning himself. That was a bigger game for the Chiefs because of this exact reality. You've got big brother Steelers coming to your house undefeated and beating you with defense and a running game. That's your worst nightmare because you know they can come back in the playoffs, or any other team can come back in the playoffs and do the exact same.
And so can Denver, right? Like, there are teams that are built like this that will make the Chiefs look like that even if they've got home field advantage throughout the playoffs.
You guys are ignoring the fact that Big Ben almost lost that game.
Yes, should have lost that game. Look at this right here. This is a terrible throw.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, terrible.
Oh, my God.
And then what does that turn into? That is a 60-yard touchdown pass for Ben Roethlisberger on a truly terrible throw. And then you could have some of that at the end as punctuation. I don't know what that was, but it looked like it was getting someone pregnant.
1.5 pumps, though.
Coming up next on Highly Questionable, stay in the bench. That's all. Stay in the bench.
Does he think Aaron Judge is watching and just should stay on the bench even if he's not told to?
He's farther away from the TV than others, so he has to yell at him. Okay. Stay on the bench.
Stay on the bench.
Time for more headlines. Will Colin Kaepernick's grievance against NFL owners change anything for him?
This is getting suspicious, guys. I think Colin Kaepernick is being kept in a league for something other than football. If you've looked at all the quarterbacks that are out there playing, and you've got Matt Castle and Jacoby Brissett tonight on Monday Night Football, ESPN paid $1.9 billion for the rights to Monday Night Football. Jacoby Brissett and Matt Castle tonight. He has a reason to be mad, and it seems like the last straw on this was Mariota going down and Tennessee not even considering him when he would have fit within the same skill set. It seems like that's the last straw, but he's got no chance at winning this kind of case. It's just going to make him more publicly the martyr that he's already become, the career martyr, because his career is dying on this particular cause.
Now, you think there's no chance that he could win this case because you think that it's obvious to prove collusion is very difficult. You have to have some sort of a paper trail or electronic trail. But then you remind yourself that this is the NFL. And when have they ever done anything right or by the book or something that isn't incriminating? And so, yes, if Colin Kaepernick is going along with this grievance, it's perhaps because he actually does have some evidence. And would you be shocked if there was one? I wouldn't be.
I want to see that evidence. Don't you guys want to see that evidence? Because I know that Jerry Jones, he's having that Johnny Walker Blue, and he hits a computer, and he just types something to Stephen Jones. Like, you want to see what those look like, don't you?
Who is more likely to come back from a 2-0 down, the Cubs or the Yankees?
I mean, really? Like, honestly, it's baseball. Anybody can win. Like, what are you talking about? These Astros games, you got Altuve scoring from third base when he shouldn't be running, and that's the decision in the game. Anybody can win baseball games. The Yankees, we've already seen them do it, but I don't think you can go through Kershaw a couple of more times, if indeed there are a couple of more times for Kershaw, and end up winning the National League. I think what you see right now is what you're going to end up seeing in the World Series. It's going to be Dodgers and Astros.
All right, well, obviously a 2-0 deficit isn't that big of a deal. We just saw the Yankees overcome one, but can they do it again? It's really hard when you've got a guy that you're relying on for some easy runs, going 2 for 27 since the wild card game, and that's Aaron Judge. And again, striking out a record number of times for a postseason. That's pretty tough. It just seems like the Astros have it. They have everything you need: speed, athleticism, hitting. They've got a superstar who's doing it when it counts, and Jose Altuve. That one's going to be a lot more difficult to overcome.
Well, the only way that the Yankees can do it is by benching Aaron Judge. That's the only way you can do it. That's it. You don't have to worry about anybody else striking out. And then on the defense, he's a liability. Do you see that kid grabbing a home run from him? You know, he's big, he's tall, he can even catch a home run ball, you know. What I'm telling you, that kid was the one that made that.
Softy,
that's right. That guy, he can even catch, he strikes out. You know what I mean? Stay in the bench. That's all. Stay in the bench.
Does he think Aaron Judge is watching and just should stay on the bench even if he's not told to?
He's farther away from the TV than others, so he has to yell at him. Okay. Stay on the bench.
Stay on the bench.
Who you got in their tweet? Joel Embiid or Hassan Whiteside?
This was good. Now, this was from a preseason game. These are two giant men, two extraterrestrials, and Hassan Whiteside picked up 3 fouls here very early in the first quarter. And yeah, as Embiid gets that, he motions to the Heat bench, get this guy out of here. Eventually, after the 3 fouls. He also was 1 for 7, Embiid was, on Hassan Whiteside. So we're going to throw you.
And there's the 3rd foul.
Yeah, there's the 3rd foul, and this is Embiid saying, "Go ahead,
get him out of here."
Yeah, get him out of here, and that's where it begins. Now it gets better. It gets even more fun as you look at Twitter here. Somebody writes Hassan Whiteside, that was BS, and he's saying you're funny, saying someone can't guard you, and they were 1 for 7 from the field. And here's Embiid. He doesn't like that. Dude, they had to take you out or you would have fouled out in 5 minutes, and we're talking about preseason, not regular season. # softy. And then he keeps going here with this, a little more of this. And keep caring about stats and not your team's success. Your plus minus was, woo. He said donkey. He said a verb. He said a word that was donkey, but it looks like it's even worse than that because we blotted it out. # softy. My bad, y'all. I thought I was using my burner account. That takes out Kevin Durant, which is I'm always here for that too. And then Hassan Whiteside does this. 31 games in 3 years. Hopefully I get to see you regular season. Now, he came strong, but Whiteside's, I think that,
Solar Eclipse is the best one here. Listen, Hassan Whiteside went into this NBA career of his looking like a social media disaster. It looked like it would end his career, possibly. He is a genius on social media. That guy is my top follow of the NBA by far. Yes,
really?
Genius.
I mean, Embiid is really good at basketball. He's really good at Twitter, but wow, is he giving Whiteside the win?
I'll take Embiid on the floor, though. Sorry, Hassan.
I saw that game differently. All the fouls on Whiteside there were because Embiid was flopping. In addition to that, Whiteside played 10 minutes and got 7 points. Embiid played almost 15 minutes and got 5 points. So as far as I'm concerned, Whiteside was the winner on this Tweet beef.
Tweet beef. All right, very good.
This broadcast from the Clevelander Hotel on beautiful South Beach, Miami. Time to play the game that feels great after having a good cry this weekend. Do you question?
You give us topics and events, and we question them.
Just sob on the end of the bed all weekend. You feel better on Monday.
Do you question if Yasiel Puig knows when he has it?
Has what? Has what? Do you know? You don't know? 5th inning, game 1, Cubs-Dodgers. Oh, whoa, is he calling a shot to right center? Okay, well, he was wrong, though. It was a double to left center. He said, wait a minute. He predicted a home run to right center. That doesn't count.
Oh, so close to an all-time moment, but he just missed by a little bit.
It could have been great if
but
he had
did he know? Yes, he knew. He always knows. You don't even need to watch the ball.
No, but wait a minute. It seems to me that the only part that Yasiel Puig got right in that play was hitting the ball against the wall. Everything else he got wrong.
And how sure are we that he doesn't do that before every at-bat? Like just pointing and then
sometimes
finally he's going to get it right.
That's how you should do it, right? If you do it every time, people forget the strike and say, oh, you did it in a big moment.
Did you see his next at-bat?
What did he do the next time?
There it is.
What? Oh!
See? Wow.
What is Schwarber doing? That guy is such a keg softball player, man. Why do we give him a glove? He should just be out there with a bat.
He went automatic trot on one of the most flimsy home runs I've ever seen. Like it cleared the fence by about half a foot.
And
he's
only
just chilling.
because Schwarber was out there.
Did he go out?
Yes, it did.
Sure,
Yes, it did. It did go out. Yes, yeah, you're right. You're right. Can you guys play that back? I don't want to concentrate on Puig here. Is Schwarber actually out there calling for that ball as if it's going to be a home run, as if it's going to be an out, and he's got it to get the center fielder away from him? Yeah, I got it. I got it.
That's me.
Everybody away
no,
from me. Okay, never mind. Okay, I'm not usually out here. I'm not familiar with anything outside of a batter's box. Only the batter's box. That's my area.
I would have had it, but it was a home run.
Anything outside those chalk lines, I shouldn't be out there.
Do you question if this was kind or demeaning?
The Miami Dolphins, they won against the Atlanta Falcons. Yes, they won on the road. This is the end of the game or toward the end of the game. Is this kind or demeaning? 2nd and 10. Falcons need a field goal.
I know this play. This was especially kind right here.
Yes.
He could have slammed him any number of times, and he put him down gently.
Oh, that is my father's guy, Kiko Alonso, right there. Kiko.
Such a nice guy, that Kiko. Look, he's just taking him for a ride.
Yes, that is really demeaning. It is really deeply demeaning.
This is the greatest segment that we have ever had in this show, you know? Yasiel and Kiko, you know, back to back. I'm telling you, baseball and football doesn't get any better. I'm in heaven, you know?
Yeah, well, it's been. If we're going to keep it Hispanic, you guys want to go ahead and demean Jose Altuve by putting a photo up of him slapping 5 with Correa, his shortstop, who's about 10 times his size. Correa's still on the ground, and Altuve's going to jump up to hit his hand. Let's keep it Hispanic with the demeaning.
Time to play the game that is opposite day. No or C?
Look at that. You change the words, it screws them all up. You can't do the head at the right time. You tell us what's on television tonight. We'll tell you if we're intrigued or not.
Tonight on ESPN, Monday Night Football, Colts and Titans.
Don't say it that way. You're not going to trick me. Now, I said earlier in the show that Matt Castle was starting. That's not totally known yet. It might be a heroic return tonight, game time decision by Marcus Mariota. But this isn't a very good game. It is, however, Exhibit A in this collusion lawsuit that Kaepernick's talking about filing. Just throw this on in the courtroom and say, how can I not be better than these two guys? Let's check in with the last time these two teams played.
Nope.
Oh, we're not checking in on that. Okay. That is something else.
That's exactly what it's going to look like tonight.
Okay. I love this so much. Is this? I love that the kids just keep running. Mom doesn't have control of the paper.
Why is she still holding the paper up? Like, what's the point of that? Put the paper down, man. Help the children.
None of them could break the paper. Izzy, are you intrigued?
I mean, I'm not intrigued. Can we talk for a second really quickly about the Florida Gators and their inability to recognize quarterback talent because Cam Newton and Jacoby Brissett were on that team and never played, and these guys are dominant in the NFL? Just a side note.
Okay, but I want to talk about that video right there. Like, I think it's okay for kids of that age to play football if they hit so soft that they can't break paper. Like, and they're not going to concuss anybody that way. Go ahead, Poppy. Are you intrigued?
Oh, see, I'm very intrigued. Are you kidding me? This game is going to be televised on ESPN. You know, I'm going to watch it no matter what. No matter if we got only about 4 or 5 years, I'm going to be one of them. We got to support John Skipper. Don't worry about it, John. You know, I'm going to watch that game. I'm going to watch it all the way to the end. And after that, I'm going to watch the Sports Center. You know, we got to support Skipper. That's it. That's it. That's going to be what I'm going to do.
I mean, okay. I mean, we paid $1.9 billion for the rights to Monday Night Football.
Don't mention that.
Okay, well, but I thought you kind of mentioned it without mentioning it.
On UK Channel 4, First Dates.
Oh, these make me sad and uncomfortable. Just awkward. It's extremely inexperienced daters dating. Let's see what that looks like.
Science technician Ian is no stranger to the chemistry lab.
I think kissing someone is, you know, the release of oxytocin and serotonin into the brain, but the only person I would probably kiss is me grandma and my mum.
But at 31, this is his first experiment with love.
Hello.
Hiya.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Oh, look. Yeah. How's it going?
Not too bad.
Yeah, not too bad. You're looking good.
Thank you. So, What do you do?
I work as a science technician at a college.
Okay.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Wow, cool.
Yeah. Cool. And yourself?
I'm a nursery nurse.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Awesome. Oh, man, that's... Yeah. What, yeah, so...
Man. Yeah, go ahead and
how
lift
long
that
you
up
been,
and drink some more of that.
Doing
That'll
your
help.
job with the
8 years this year. Yeah.
snap.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Ah, my 30s. That's what they look like. Not all of us can be as beautiful as Izzy. Izzy, are you intrigued?
I mean, you're talking about kissing and you're talking about oxytocin and serotonin, man. That's just not what you're going for, all right?
No, not
It's not
usually.
going to work.
Poppy, are you intrigued?
Oh, see, I'm very intrigued. You know, I remember that first kiss, you know, the one that you had that paid that girl $50 to kiss you. Do you remember that one? That's right. I'll never forget that.
You know what? He makes this joke, and you guys think it's funny, but my mother thinks that my grandfather actually did that for my father, and it's a source of much contention 50 years later.
Way to flip it on him.
I'm not kidding. I'm not joking.
Yeah.
He was joking. I'm not joking.
I wasn't joking. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you for watching.
We'll talk to you tomorrow.
See you mañana.
Are you flying up to Wisconsin to see
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers
Yeah, I'm
in
going to
the
be like
hospital?
Drake
yeah?
and Odell Beckham. I'm just going to sit by his bedside.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bringing chocolate,
Yeah,
flowers?
yeah. I'm going to bring all of my best gifts.
He really is sad. Look at him.
Yeah, I'm mad. I'm sad and angry. I'm not just sad. Going through the stages of grief.